And last night, Thailand time, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has told the British public that they must stay home.
And though huge numbers are complying, and I thank you all, the time has now come for us all to do more. From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home. Because the critical thing we must do to stop the disease spreading between households. That is why people will only be allowed to leave their home for the following very limited purposes. Shopping for basic necessities as infrequently as possible. One form of exercise a day, for example, a run, walk or cycle, alone or with members of your household. Any medical need to provide care or to help a vulnerable person, and travelling to and from work, but only where this is absolutely necessary and cannot be done from home. That's all. These are the only reasons you should leave.
คุณเทพชัย Boris Johnson Prime Minister of the UK has told the whole nation what they have to do right now in order to comply with the request. They must stay home. People in the UK are now facing the crisis of the outbreak of COVID-19, and it's really essential for them to stay home. So that's what Prime Minister Boris Johnson of the UK addressed the whole nation last night. คุณเทพชัย it seems very serious and quite stern from the way he communicated with the public, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that it was a very strong message to the people. And of course, we can't help but comparing the Mr. Boris Johnson's address to the country and to our own Prime Minister, who also talked to the country today about the need to impose national emergency situation. And of course, there is a stark difference. While our Prime Minister was talking roughly about the measures, I think the UK, the Prime Minister, very much tried to talk about the need for both the government and the people to work together in addressing this very critical moment.
Yes.
And he also tried to make sure that everybody shared the feeling that everyone in the UK is now in this together, and everyone has a part to play to help the country go through this very difficult period.
I think that very crucial message to say that we are in this together. And on top of detailing all the measure, he also said anyone who violates this order will face fine, will face punishment as well.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting that when a country needs to impose stringent measures that would affect people's everyday life, it may need the leader, the top leader himself or herself, to talk about it. And this is exactly what Boris Johnson did today, that he spelled out on the stringent measures that the British people will be facing.
Yes.
Including closing up all shops selling non-essential goods, and closing up all gyms and places of worship and gatherings of more than 2 people in public. And then he talked about the need for the law to be enforced, very forcefully. And he said that no Prime Minister wants to do something like this. and
yes.
That he knows that the damage from this direction is going to be and will be to people's life.
Yes.
And that's exactly when the leader of the country, his role is critical in conveying both the bad news and then the need for everyone to unite and to fight this menace together.
Yes. So let's take a listen. How does he tell the public if anyone violates the rules, what will happen?
The police will have the powers to enforce them, including through fines and dispersing gatherings. To ensure compliance with the government's instruction to stay at home, we will immediately close all shops selling non-essential goods, including clothing and electronic stores, and other premises, including libraries, playgrounds and outdoor gyms and places of worship. We'll stop all gatherings of more than 2 people in public, excluding people you live with, and will stop all social events, including weddings, baptisms, and other ceremonies, but excluding funerals. Parks will remain open for exercise, but gatherings will be dispersed. No Prime Minister wants to enact measures like this. I know the damage that this disruption is doing and will do to people's lives, to their businesses, and to their jobs. And that's why we've produced a huge and unprecedented programme of support both for workers and for business. And I can assure you that we will keep these restrictions under constant review. We will look again in 3 weeks and relax them if the evidence shows we are able to. The way ahead is hard, and it is still true that many lives will, sadly, be lost. And yet it is also true that there is a clear way through. Day by day, we are strengthening our amazing NHS with 7,500 former clinicians now coming back to the service. With the time you buy, by simply staying at home, we are increasing our stocks of equipment. We are accelerating our search for treatments. We're pioneering work on a vaccine. And we are buying millions of testing kits that will enable us to turn the tide on this invisible killer. But in this fight, we can be in no doubt that each and every one of us is directly enlisted. Each and every one of us is now obliged to join together to halt the spread of this disease, to protect our NHS, and to save many, many thousands of lives. And I know that as they have in the past, so many times, the people of this country will rise to that challenge, and we will come through it stronger than ever.